Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as we take a look at the major astrological energies of August 2023. And what an interesting month it is. This month begins with a full moon, Aquarius full moon at 9 degrees, and ends with the Pisces full moon on August 30th at 7 degrees. So when we start and end a calendar month with two full moons, it means that more is active and alive in our emotional bodies, in what we are feeling and sensing. It also brings up change because every full moon is about an illumination, about seeing something that was in your unconscious, and the full moon wants to make it conscious. So this could be a month where you have some new insights into things in your world, in your daily life, in yourself, that were just out of reach, but perhaps it's coming more into focus and you're understanding it in a new light. This is also a very strong month of earth sign energies. And that's because we have Mercury and Mars in Virgo. We will see the sun enter Virgo later in the month on August 23rd. Plus, we have Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus and Pluto in Capricorn. So with the strong earth sign energy, it brings in realistic understandings of what you need to get done this month, where you're ready to be productive. Maybe there's things that you finally feel you have energy for, you can focus on. This is also a month where we're really tuned into earth consciousness. We're really tuned into what we are responsible for, what is occurring all around us in the physical world. This is where we are also tuning into the practical aspects of life. And not only is it strong earth sign energy all month, but we also have Venus retrograde all month. So there's a slowdown here with the Venus retrograde in Leo, having us reassess what we value, what we want, what we need, to reconsider where we want to invest our energy, whether that is in our financial priorities, whether that is in what we want to create next, what we are understanding about our own patterns and habits, what is coming up in relationships, especially relationships with feminine energies, since that is what Venus rules. So that pertains to not only love matters, but friendships, sisters, people you work with. The feminine energy is in retrograde, meaning it's retracting, it's pulling back. This could also show up as reprogramming what is occurring in the Leo areas of your world. And so if you have planets or points in Leo, this Venus retrograde in Leo is going to work with you more personally and also bring you into those Leo energies and ask you what is true for you now, what resonates with your heart, what lights you up, what supports your ability to be confident and to be brave. And so this Venus retrograde throughout the whole month is retracting us back into our hearts and our solar plexus. And this means you might need more time to yourself. You might want to be left alone. Maybe there's things you are reviewing and you're observing, especially around relationships. When Venus is retrograde, it is time to tune into what's going on below the surface. It's about going deeper into the underworkings, if you will, and allowing those to offer you insights and information. Now, we also are going to see this month Mercury stationing retrograde on August 23rd at 21 degrees of Virgo. So by the end of August, we're actually going to have 7 planets retrograde, including Venus and Mercury. Now, Venus and Mercury are important to understand when they're both retrograde at the same time, because these are the personal planets that work with our daily energies, what we do on a daily basis, what's calling to us, how we move, how we think, how we're aware of what we want. When both are retrograde, that's where we really need to be more intentional with what we're choosing, with what we're selecting, This is also where we need more time. So the end of August is when we need more time. We don't want to be rushed. We don't want to be pushed. We don't want things happening too quickly. And yes, 7 planets are retrograde by the end of the month, but I do want to call out that this has been the case for multiple years now. We've been in this cycle where the calendar year begins with planets direct, all planets direct for a number of months. Then throughout the year, the planets begin to retrograde so that by the second half of the calendar year, planets are retrograde together. Then they each will station direct and be direct by the beginning of 2024. So this is a pattern we've been in. And when we have multiple planets in retrograde, this is a beautiful gift of giving ourselves time to check in with our intentions, to also integrate what has been coming up for us. This is especially true because of how many planets have moved into new degree points. They're in new energetic territory. They've opened up new parts of your experience, of your world, of your life. And then we need time to digest. We need time to integrate and to sit with it. And so the end of August is a slowdown and allows us to really tune into what we're feeling and sensing internally, and to allow that to be part of a process as well. So the month begins perhaps with a lot more energy and play, especially with the Sun and Venus both in Leo. Perhaps there's vacations, traveling, having fun, enjoying the season. And then the end of the month is often preparation for the last quarter of the year. And that could be returning to the desk after your summer break, getting ready for school, returning to the priorities and things in front of you, as well as looking at the months ahead, which can even include planning for the holidays, preparing for the end of the year, being aware of what you want to accomplish by the end of the year. And so August ends with that more practical understanding of what is happening in your life and what you need to take care of at this time. Because we have a lot of energies in earth signs this month, it is important to stay aware of what is happening in your everyday environment, of what is going on that you're responsible for, you need to take care of. The earth signs are about what we experience on a daily basis in our physical world, and it could feel like more of your attention is really tuned in to those areas of your life. Maybe you're really focused more on work, money, family, where you live, your job, and where you want to go with it. I mean, this can be so many areas of our lives, but there's something too about August that is going to support us in understanding what really matters for the long term and what doesn't. I feel like this is a decision-making month where this Virgo energy, especially with both Mercury and Mars in Virgo, is going to bring your attention to what's working and what's not. And then, okay, let's move it into another direction, focus on another solution. How can we improve this? How can we work with what we've got? Or how do we let this go? How do we just see, okay, this isn't what I want. This isn't where I want to go with something. And that's going to come up as both Mercury and Mars oppose the planets in Pisces. So we have Saturn and Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And when they oppose the planets in Virgo, there are endings. There are things that are eliminated and removed. There's also a sense of maybe wanting to give up. You know, that sense of, oh, this isn't working. This isn't going anywhere. I'm not getting the results I want from this. I'm not going to do it anymore. There can be that feeling of temporary defeat, or even just seeing it as a universal pause. Okay, the universe is showing me this isn't paying off. This isn't heading in the direction I want. The universe wants me to see that. What are my next choices? What can I do from here on out? What can I pursue or explore that might be a better route to take? So there will be some things that need course correction. There will be some things you let go of this month, and it could feel like it wasn't your choice, but understand that it's the universe really helping you see that this isn't where you're meant to direct energy, time, or attention. And if you go higher into that spiritual perspective, it can help with anything that you are being required to let go of. It's interesting. I'm getting the visual of a project at work that you've put a lot of time into, almost like it feels like your baby. And then here walks in a manager or an authority figure, and they're like, yeah, we're going to scratch that because the data doesn't show that that's going to be the best approach. That isn't the way we're going to go anymore. So we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to do this. It's that kind of energy where something is changed and it feels like maybe you're on the receiving end of it. Now, for some of you, I feel like you're the ones who have to make a tough decision. You're the ones who have to really look at the data, the plan, the overarching goals. And there could be something here that you're realizing this isn't going to take us where we need to go. This isn't going to pay off. This isn't going to work. So stay flexible this month with your expectations of what's going to come together and what's not. Because again, I'm feeling like things are going to be ending. Like there's going to be things that, again, it's just taken off your plate, taken off your desk. And that can be challenging for the Virgo energies that really invest and really want something to work. And I'm just feeling like there's some kind of bigger overarching picture that maybe you're not aware of. And this can be both, let's say, in a company, in a corporation, but also universally. Sort of like I'm getting the visual of people making decisions in a boardroom or the higher ups, and they have all this information about how the business is performing, what's going on, what the P&L says. And then they're realizing, yeah, we got to scrap all this. And then I'm also seeing it in a universal energetic way of the universe saying, yeah, you don't need that. That isn't going to support you long term. That isn't something that you really need to take forward. So do keep in mind, there could be some disappointments this month. And I mean, we never like to hear that, right? We don't want that. But again, it can be a redirect from the universe. It can be something that's showing you, okay, actually just go here, let that go, allow things to play out or transpire as they will, and just remain flexible in how things are shifting and moving this month. Now, both Mercury and Mars in Virgo are going to be working with Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus and Pluto in Capricorn through some powerful trines. There's powerful trine energy here for both Mercury and Mars in Virgo. And so this means that there are things in your life that are just going to click. It's just going to come together, maybe even unexpectedly or easier than you thought. And this is where we're going to see it. We're going to see tangible results because that is how the earth signs express themselves. They are all about the physical world. So there's things here that are going to click and connect, and that's going to help with anything that is turning over, that's letting go. Again, anything that's disappointing, you're going to feel like, oh, but now I have more energy for this direction, this project, this idea. So there are things that are also going to really beautifully connect, and you could feel like, wow, I was waiting for this and it finally happened. So allow this earth sign energy to be something that shows you how you are creating more of what you want in this reality. I'm also feeling new earth energies emerging in August, especially after the 8/8 Lionsgate. I will have a separate podcast episode for you on that, but it's very much about the new earth energies, what that looks like at this time on the planet, because I see them coded differently. Like the Lionsgate energy is always coded with very specific downloads. And this year, it's really going to be pretty cool to see how it lines up. So I'll have another show for you on the Lionsgate energy signature, which will come out next Monday on July 31st. And that could help with navigating August, truly, where things that fall away or leave are not connected to the new earth codes or to the new parts of ourselves that I'm feeling are incoming. And I'm getting the visual of that Aquarius full moon that starts the month on August 1st. And it ushers in more of the age of Aquarius awareness. And we'll see that even more in the years ahead as Pluto moves back into Aquarius, especially in January 2024. But this is a month of looking at what do I want to build and create in my reality that supports my energy, even if I don't fully understand it yet. Okay, so this is what I'm getting around that, is that I feel like the future self is on a timeline that's bringing things to you. It's like bringing in this message, bringing in this download, showing you this, showing you that. And it could feel like, what do I do with this? Where do I put this? It's kind of like you get a big order from Amazon and all these boxes arrive at your front door and you bring it into the house and you're like, I don't even have a place to put this yet. I've just got all this stuff. And I mean this more as ideas and energies and downloads, right? And then it comes and arrives and you don't know where to organize it or where to put it because it's arriving before you have a place that it goes in the new earth consciousness. It's like early delivery, and then maybe it's a few months later that you're like, oh, perfect. This goes right here. But I wasn't ready for that yet. So I'm feeling these multiple timelines, specifically 2 timelines this month, where you're in your everyday life, right? You're like, I got to make my lunch. I got to answer emails. I've got to take care of paying the bills and stuff with the kids or stuff with your parents, whatever it might be. But then there's this what we would call a future timeline that is coming through, and it could come through quite rapidly and quite big, where it just kind of hits and you're like, whoa, that was some big energy coming through, and it feels literally out of this world. It feels like it doesn't connect with your earthly reality. And so then we have the gift of these retrogrades that slow things down for us to organize, to sit with things, to reduce the overwhelm or pressure to figure it all out, and to be okay. This is a gift from my future self, or this is a sign of where I'm going or what I want in my reality. I'm also feeling something about August connecting to next year, connecting to 2024. Where you could have some inspirations or downloads or things coming up about what you want to experience or include in 2024. So jot it down, make a note, put it on your calendar, put it on your 2024 intentions list. But there's something about an opening as well in August that wants you to look at where you're going. And if we consider how quickly time has sped up, there has been this acceleration on the planet because, first of all, who can believe that we're even in August already? But we are. And the energy is going to continue to accelerate and increase. So it's almost like when things come in, jot them down. And Mercury in Virgo this month is going to help you with that. You're going to have lists like you didn't know you could even make lists like this. I mean, you might just impress yourself with all the ways you're organizing your thoughts, you're getting things together, you're cleaning up. There's an energetic cleanup here as well. So August is a month where you're going to understand not only what stays and what goes, whether you choose it or not, whether the universe chooses it for you, or someone else does. But then I feel like there's going to be these ideas coming through around what you want next and where you're being called to place your intention or place your focus. Now, as I mentioned, Venus is retrograde in Leo all month, and the Sun is in Leo until August 23rd. And so that Leo energy is going to open up and expand your creativity, your sense of personal power, give you some inspirations into how to use your energy, and also perhaps light you up in a new way. So stay aware of what feels like it's supporting your energy. It's giving you a yes. It's giving you a sense of, I want this, I'm going to go for it. Because the Leo energy, when it wants something, it will focus on it until it gets it. So that could be something that you move through this month as well. But then the energy really is interesting after the Sun enters Virgo on August 23rd. Now, I know I'm skipping ahead here to August 23rd already, because that's when not only is the sun in Virgo, but Mercury retrogrades in Virgo on that same day. It's going to be at 21 degrees, making a beautiful trine to Uranus in Taurus at 23 degrees, which is also stationing retrograde in August, specifically August 28th. So for the last week of August, that Mercury in Virgo, stationing retrograde, trining Uranus in Taurus, stationing retrograde, is going to tune you in to some solutions, ideas, projects, communications, things that you're meant to pick up and work with. This is very exciting energy. And the retrograde, the stationing retrograde, is a standstill. And I feel like there's some kind of activation occurring the end of August. An activation of consciousness, of awareness, of intention. And both Mercury and Uranus hold a similar mental frequency. Now, Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. Every personal planet has a higher octave expression through an outer planet. So with Mercury, it's Uranus. With Venus, it's Neptune. With Mars, it's Pluto. And I have done a podcast episode discussing this even more, and you can find it on my YouTube channel if that's the easiest place for you to look. It's called The Higher Octave Energies. And so here we have Mercury, which is the human mind, your personal perceptions, how you communicate, how you speak, how you think, how you write, what you take in, your perceptions, everything about your own cerebral processing is connected to Mercury, connecting with the higher universal wisdom of Uranus, which holds cosmic intelligence frequencies of greater possibilities, more solutions, crazy, outlandish ideas. Uranus wants to break us out of limitations, break us out of the box, break us out of small thinking as well. And so I feel like there's something here towards the end of the month that is going to be exciting, interesting. It's going to open up new possibilities. But because both planets are stationing retrograde, then you're meant to sit with it, jot it down, plan it out. What could this be? Where could this go? I feel like this is where the universe is also supporting us in thinking about our lives from a grander perspective. Because the Virgo energy is very much about the everyday habits and routines we have, the ways that we need to take care of our responsibilities and what is in front of us. But this connection to Uranus wants you to think long term, to open up into more ways of proceeding or doing something. And I think it's also going to bring in some really fresh perspectives, as well as breakthroughs. If something has been mentally heavy, if you've been stuck, if you're like, I don't even know what to do with all this, I don't know what to choose or where to go or what's important, that is where Uranus is going to zap you with something. And this energy lasts for a good week. So again, August ends with something that we are ready to connect with, to understand, maybe even ready to communicate. If you've been sitting on something or if you want to express it, even though Mercury is stationing retrograde, which means review, reprioritize, reconsider, it's a slowdown, but this zappy, zingy energy from Uranus is going to show you how to approach a situation or how to write that email that will get the response you want. How to make sure that you're considering all the necessary facts and details. Because these are in earth signs, it has to be understandable and clear, and you need to know what to include that will make sense. So there is a very logical energy here, very rational and plausible. So overall, August is a month to look at what is in front of you that you need to take care of, to be open to receiving the downloads and information from the universe about the future, about next steps, about things that are possible, even if they're not front and center right now. So staying open to the future timeline and to what you want in 2024 could be a theme you experience. Then there's also this intense earth sign focus of tending to what you need to take care of, where you're ready to be productive and move things forward that you can, while remaining flexible in what is leaving or what is shutting down outside of your control. And remember how we start and end the month with 2 super full moons, which will bring in more awareness, highlight more things that are ready to change and shift, as well as bring you insights into what is essential and what is not. And that could surprise you. Again, there could be things this month where you're like, you know what? I'm over that. I don't want that in front of me. I never want to see that ever again. So changes are definitely a part of the game this month, but look at where you are overly attached to a particular outcome or expectation or result, because it would be wise to call the energy back to you and be in a neutral state where you can allow things to come in and come out from a neutral energetic space. And I'm seeing this as calming the mind and the nervous system. It allows you to be like, okay, cool, I get it. Or sure, fine. It's kind of this very, I want to say detached perspective, but you remain in your power. You remain in your strength with what comes and what goes. Now we still have Pluto retrograde in Capricorn squaring the nodes of fate this month. And that could be something that you're feeling, especially if you have planets or points in the late degrees of the cardinal signs. So in the late degrees, 27, 28, 29 degrees of Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, you would be feeling that intense pressure from Pluto. You would be feeling the desire to create something new, to do something different. It is a strong transformational energy, but because it's in this locked square, you could feel the energy but not know what to do with it yet, in which case it's important to trust that, because the universe is signaling to you that something is here. Something is here for you to be aware of, to understand, to at least have in your awareness, so that when the energy opens up, you know what you're ready for. And so keep in mind, this could feel like a part of your life is stuck, where you're like, but I want to do this, or I want to go here, or I want to try that, but it's not time yet. And there's deeper things happening within, both within you and within the cosmic consciousness, which we're always connected to. This energy is actually really important if you have planets or points in the late degrees of Aries and Libra, because you're feeling it more personally. And the nodes of fate that are now in Aries and Libra are opening you up to something that you haven't seen before, or at least something that you haven't connected with for about 19 years, which was the last time that the North Node was in Aries. And I do have a new program for you on the nodes of fate to help you navigate what you are moving into. These are about new fated developments, meaning new things that you're destined to experience in this lifetime that you're ready for, that you have evolved to a place where something within you is new, it's fresh, it's ready to say yes, and that Aries North Node wants to take you into that new chapter of your life. So do check out that program, especially if you have planets or points in Aries or Libra, or if your nodes in your natal chart, either your South Node or your North Node, are in Aries or Libra. And the link to that information is below the podcast here as well. So overall, August is an interesting month, and I hope it shows you, again, what's important, what's not, what you're okay letting go of, what you no longer need. Also shows you in beautiful ways some gifts from your future self, some messages and downloads about what's possible, especially into 2024, and how you can trust some of those messages that will come through at the end of the month that might feel rather unexpected and juicy, but also gives you some of those solutions and possibilities that maybe you wouldn't have thought of on your own. So as always, thank you so much for joining me for this podcast. I'll be back every Wednesday and Monday for a new episode, and I look forward to connecting with you through this world of astrology as we move through the rest of 2023. You can find all of my current astrology teachings and programs over at mollymccord.online, and I also have a lot of resources about building your online business. If you are a solopreneur, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're getting some things up and going, or you want to, or you have been, this is a free library of information to support you. Also to share with you what I've learned, because I've been in business for many decades now, and my approach is very practical. It's down to earth. It's no nonsense. And I want to support as many of you as possible as moving into your soul mission. And in fact, some of the videos in the library dashboard are from 2015, 2016, because that's how long I've been doing this. I mean, I've had my own online platform since 2011. And that's important to understand. It takes time to build things up. It takes time to create your programs, create what you want to sell, understand your business and what you're here to do. So I want to offer that in order to validate the fact that things take time, because I know there's a lot of messaging out there about just do it quickly and you'll get this, or, people will blow up on Instagram or TikTok. And all of that is great, but the long-term business objectives, building up a business takes time. It takes time. And I always say, give it a minimum of 3 years, because what you're building up is the ability to have a reliable, regular income month after month, year after year. And that takes time. That doesn't just happen with one launch or with one thing that you put out there or booking your calendar with all these sessions. It takes time. And so I want to offer some of that knowledge for you to work with and understand, as well as to know that this is such an amazing time to be following your soul mission and your soul purpose. There are more people than ever doing it, and there is more than enough abundance for everyone to be successful. I absolutely believe that. It's also why I teach this stuff and I offer it, because I know there's more than enough for all of us to be successful and to live a life based on our own unique energy. So you know me as an astrologer, but I'm a businesswoman and I take it seriously, and I want to support other people in building up their business and what they can do on the planet at this time. So, okay, I guess that was my spiel about that. Again, it's all on my website, mollymccord.online. And I hope that some of that helps you. Remember, I also have a program called Shine Your Guiding Light that's uniquely and specifically for those of you who are astrologers, who are energy readers, who are intuitives, and you want to do this business in the world. You know it's your calling. Well, this is a program I put together for you to cover what is essential, to be aware of what you need to know energetically to build the correct foundation for yourself. Because I'll tell you this, you cannot copy somebody else and expect it to work. Nope, it won't happen, because it has to be built on your unique energy, how you are designed to show up in the world, to be yourself, to offer your wisdom and your gifts. And that is the number one priority I share, is that you have to know your energy first in order to be successful and to build a platform that works for you. So that program called Shine Your Guiding Light is designed to help you be even more abundant, be successful, but it's very practical. It's very realistic. And I cover that as well. I cover the hard stuff. The 5% of clients that are difficult. We talk about what to do, what to handle. I share with you some of my own business mistakes, things I'll never do again that I learned from, that I hope supports you as well. So if this is your calling, or if you're interested, do check out that program as well. And maybe the reason I'm sharing all this, because I didn't plan on talking about all this at the end of the podcast, is to help you with where you want to go in 2024. Maybe this supports you in what you want to focus on next year, especially professionally. So, as always, thank you so much for joining me. It's always a delight to connect with you. I will be back soon, wishing you a beautiful journey through August as always, and I will see you very soon through this podcast as well as on my YouTube channel, Instagram, and Facebook. Take good care.